As you know, the COVID-19 pandemic is probably one of the most significant black swan events this century has seen. It has brought the whole world to a standstill. Economic activity is almost down to very, very low levels. This has, of course, had a tremendous impact on the demand side. And of course, it has also created massive supply side disruptions. As you are well aware, uh, the last almost 2 months, and even more in certain other countries where the alarm bells were rung earlier, virtually the lockdown, as the new terminology of complete economic standstill, has virtually brought demand down to very, very low levels. And supply side is completely disrupted with both production, manufacturing, and distribution affected. This has affected all products, including commodity textiles. It has, of course, affected luxury textiles. It has affected almost every aspect of the textile industry. Discretionary spends have been slashed as disposable incomes have fallen. Rising unemployment has created again less money in the hands of the consumer. Many categories have had a disproportionate impact. Obviously, even going ahead, sportswear, formal wear, occasion wear, bottoms wear, as people work from homes and cannot get out of their houses, is going to be severely impacted for some more time to come. Uh, and let's look at it this way. Till now, the stores were closed. All retail operations were closed. Slowly, with the lockdown restrictions being lifted, retail stores around the country, particularly in the green zones and maybe orange zones, are beginning to get onto their feet. However, the social distancing mindset, as it sets in, with the regulations as stipulated by various state governments, it will lead to severe impact on store footfalls. As you know, the malls are still not open, and I would say that without the big malls being opened, the retail sales will at the most be, be what it is, probably 10-15%, maybe going up to max 30%. We have done an estimation for the current fiscal, that is 2 months already gone or almost gone, 10 months to go. June also looks to be a washout. So Q1 for the fiscal is gone. Aditya Birla Group prides itself on being extremely progressive, and we are happy to say that right from day one, well before the government issued instructions for lockdown and working from home, we saw what was coming. We could read what was happening around the world, and we immediately announced work from home, even before the government gave instructions for working from home, because it became increasingly apparent to us that protecting our people was the first priority for the leadership. And I think we took a call. I myself have been first under home quarantine from almost 13th of March morning till today. And of course, the self-quarantine was imposed because I just returned from Indonesia. I think within 3-4 days, our entire office was virtually working from home by 17th or 18th, well before the lockdowns were announced. So the first thing is we took the safety of our people as the foremost leadership priority. And this was not just in Bombay or in our offices, it was across the rest of the world. We set up daily meetings of the management team, which continues till today. I have had numerous communication meetings with the entire rank and file of textile business, particularly the management staff, and in many cases even the subordinate staff, and even workmen in some cases. We have been able to adopt technology. Our IT team moved very fast to make working from home possible. We work on a Microsoft Teams package, which is virtually available with every employee of the company who's working from home. We sometimes use Zoom calls. We use technology to the hilt today to be able to connect with all our employees wherever they may be in the world. I have also had a number of communication meetings with our units around the world. I operate a business within 7 countries at the moment, including the 2 countries which we recently acquired in November of last year through the technical textile acquisition of Lampos Svele. So one of the plant is in Kaiserslautern in Germany and one is in Levice in Slovakia. So my communications have been cutting across country lines. I talked about the COVID impacts. I talked about the precautions our employees need to take, both physical as well as psychological. I have told them about what the company policies are going to be. My CEOs have addressed their staff on numerous occasions. So I think communication has been the priority for leadership. Safety of employees. One of the wonderful things we did is very quickly, my HR teams came up with a standard operating document, which we call Be Smart and Be Safe, document for operating our plants and offices. These SOPs are extremely detailed. They take into account all the concerns of respective central and state governments, different countries. Because we are operating in 7 countries, we have to be mindful of the regulations in all these countries while bringing about these standard operating procedures. The procedures are extremely detailed. We moved away from hand scanners to retinal scanners. We moved away from, we've started fumigation of our factories on a regular basis. We have ensured, of course, the basic hygiene of sanitation and hygiene of the workplaces. The working of the canteens have changed. The declarations to be given by people who are coming from out of town. Self-quarantine wherever we find there is a likelihood of somebody being in contact with a likely positive patient. Ensuring that all our employees are safe across factories. I have almost close to 16,000 employees across 7 countries, and I think my biggest challenge today is to ensure their safety. So I think many best practices the group has undertaken. I cannot even recount the kind of innovations they have done in terms of providing both washing facilities, sanitation, the kind of jigs and fixtures which have been prepared to ensure that there is no physical contact. And it's pretty heartwarming to see how the employees have risen to the occasion. We do not have a single case of COVID positive till now, touch wood, in our 7 operating countries, which is more than 12 to 13 manufacturing locations worldwide. And our officers are working day and night to ensure that we keep our employees safe. And we have also used this opportunity, not just, of course, we started in our business, but then the group also took it up in a very big way to use this opportunity of people working from home to really work, intensify our e-learning courses. My business started a series called Seekhne Ka Keeda, which has been going on in full swing. It covers businesses across the world, and subject matter experts are asked to come and address people on issues of general interest and issues of strategic interest to the group. The Aditya Birla Group has started a program called Leaders Teach Leaders, where very senior people address the mid-level to senior level managers and maybe even top management in trying to take up areas of critical interest strategically to the group. I have done 2 addresses. One is on leadership musings and one is on customer value creation itself as part of this series. And I think, learning is a never-ending priority for the group. And I'm very glad to see that my officers and particularly the HR team has really taken this opportunity of trying to, bring in huge amount of learning into the group. Considering that people are stressed, people are at home, but they are also itching to come back to work. There is, of course, a lot of anxiety, which fortunately in our case the chairman addressed all businesses of the group across the world, saying that this is one group which will ensure that their employees are protected and taken care of. I think Chairman's address to the entire Aditya Birla Group by business assuaged and reduced anxiety levels across the group. So a lot of really high quality interventions by the leadership of the group and by the business. I think you asked a very significant question. As you know, that even before the pandemic, the Aditya Birla Group and particularly me were scouting around for technical textile businesses to acquire globally. We acquired Pyrotex about 3 years ago, and in November last year, which I have not shared with you personally, but you can connect with me at a later date for this, is that we have acquired the largest technical textile company in Europe called Lampos Smele in a transaction which concluded in November 2019. Lampos Smele is one of the world's largest producers of protective textiles. It's a spinner, so it basically supplies to weavers and knitters, particularly in Europe, but also partly outside Europe. They have 2 plants. They have a plant in Kaiserslautern, which is about an hour's drive from Frankfurt, and they have another plant in Levice in Slovakia, which is roughly about an hour and a half, 2-hour drive from Venice airport. So this acquisition actually catapulted Aditya Birla Group into the league of one of the largest technical textile companies in the world, particularly in terms of very high-end prestigious products. Lampos Smele is probably one of the largest users of DuPont's aramids in the world. It uses amongst the largest flame retardant products of different fiber manufacturers from Japan, Turkey and other parts of the world, China included. We make a lot of protective wear products, particularly flame retardant, and therefore the use of aramids, flame retardant viscose, flame retardant acrylics is very, very high. This company is currently operating at fairly high levels. Our German plant has been operating at 70-75%. Our Slovakian plant continues to operate at 85-90% in Slovakia. These companies have received good support from the government of Germany and government of Slovakia, unlike many of our companies in India, which have really not received any direct support from the government. And I think, in my view, technical textile is going to be the frontier area. The pandemic has, of course, intensified the use of face masks, protective overalls, ensuring that our medical workers, our frontline workers are protected. Therefore, the need for safe technical textile product, including antimicrobial, antifungal, ensuring a multi-layer protection, particularly to the frontline medical staff who are working in extremely difficult and trying circumstances, has become the priority for the global technical textile industry. But as we go along, we will see this sector, which has anyway been growing almost at twice the rate of the normal textile sector globally for the last decade or so, will now even grow faster, because the priority for personal care protection, or PPE as we call it now, has never been more than it is today. So I think technical textile will be a focus. We have just entered this segment through an acquisition in Europe of 2 companies in Germany and Slovakia, and I think it's going to be a very focus area for us in the coming days. I think, I cannot underestimate the importance of leadership. As we all know, leadership really makes the difference between whether you survive or you thrive, and or whether you go under. I think this pandemic has shown us the importance of leadership. Our daily management team huddles, our frequent communication meetings with the rank and file of the organization, our reaching out individually, collectively to people to address their fears, their concerns, have been appreciated very much. our ability to keep our employees continuously engaged through learning programs not just helps them acquire new skills, but it also helps them keep themselves occupied gainfully, improving their own capability and aiding to their development. The constant communication, the constant meetings that we continue to hold as if nothing has happened gives a sense of relief, and at the same time a sense of confidence to the employees that it will be just a matter of time before we bounce back. But I would like to say at this point of time that I personally don't think the world will ever be the same again. What people forget is that there is no cut-off date for this virus. It is not that when the lockdowns get lifted, whether partially or in a phased manner or immediately, the virus is here to stay. The virus is going to be with us at least for a year or so. And if no vaccine is found, it may be with us even longer. So we will have to learn to live with this virus. We will have to learn to work differently. We will have to learn to live differently. Our social interactions will have to be measured and considered. Our involvement in various social events, celebrations have to be muted. So the world will be very, very different from what we have seen it today. And I think as we prepare for this, there are just 2-3 things that I would like to leave with the audience. The first is that it is in times like this that leadership needs to show true level 5 leadership. Authenticity, mindfulness, listening intently to its people, ensuring that it suspends judgment, learns to be humble and compassionate, and also focuses on what is important for the industry and its own people going forward. I think the transition to digital, the use of digital technologies, the use of clouds, the necessity to skill our people with new skills through e-learning programs, to ensure that we are able to give confidence to our consumers to again come back to the store and ensure that the touch points are minimized, looking at e-commerce to see that in the product categories where we can deliver safely to people at home, therefore safety, hygiene and minimized touch points will become crucial in the retail business in the coming years. So I would say that we are going to look at a new world post COVID-19 lifting of lockdowns, and I think it's going to be a long time before the world really returns to the normal as it was before the pandemic. And I also would like to take this opportunity to tell all the readers that you must stay home, you must stay safe, and you must stay blessed. Thank you very much.